I'm gonna chop a hole right there. Right there. Let's not talk about what's going on there at the moment because it's a bit of a sore point. Yeah, whoops. Anyway, alright, so quick update in the engine bay here. Been messing around with turbo location. Obviously the end of the turbo manifold was just tacked in place, so it's sitting kind of where it needs to go. Just needs to lean over just a little bit that way, away from the tower. But the angle this way is correct because it clears the bonnet and also clears the dump pipe there. I've had to notch into the tower here, which this will come back a little bit. There'll be a bit more of a gap there, but that'll all get plated in back as strong as it was before. Just sort of give it a bit more room in there so I can turn the turbo away from the radiator. But I'm pretty happy with that. This afternoon I'm going to get in there and just bring this turbo over this way a little bit that way. So, and the reason I'm holding a scribe is because I'm going into the car now, even though it's disgustingly hot. Old man noises. Right, so I need to remove the B&M shifter firstly because that's getting pulled out because I have a brand new M&M shifter coming, which is pretty cool. This was good for what it was, but the M&Ms are, from what I'm told, are much better. Nothing against B&M, but I just want something that's easy to use. Plus the other advantage is that it's air operated, so we can operate it with the Haltech. Anyway, it's quite warm in here, so I'm not going to stick around for too long. Let's see if I can pull this couple of things out of my pocket. I have a pair of scissors here and I have a pen. So what I'm doing now is, and I also have this just as a measuring device, but what I'm doing now is this is what I previously, sorry noise, had in here for the dash, and I've replaced that with another sheet, but I haven't rounded the corners off yet because I'm going to mount this bad boy up here and also this bad boy here next to it. So the goal is to try and get the Nexus as far over as possible, but I need to make sure that a bolt can go through there and there without fouling on the actual roll cage hoop bit there. I mean, it's not a structural part of the cage anyway, so I could trim it, but I'm just not really into that right now. I'd just rather just do what it's doing. But what I want to do is just get in there and get that done. So what I will do is try and mount this camera somewhere. Let's do this.
Three-footed monster.
The three-footed monster.
This three-footed monster.
A three-footed monster.
It's a good thing I've got a three-footed monster, hey? Look at that. Perfect. Alright, so the goal is to get the Nexus without dropping it. And that'll be mounted up off spaces about there and the keypad about here. And then the goal is to work out how high that's going to sit here, as long as I can do that without the windscreen. And I can do this and tidy it up anyway, but the main goal is to get a bit of an outline and work out where it's going to go. I'm going to mount this on rubber blocks as well, similar to what I've done on the tank, so it doesn't cop any vibration, even though I know these are pretty rugged. Good one, Boxer. Now that I know that's there, I'm going to be putting this in here, and I have plenty of room behind there, I know that, because of where those things are. So I'm going to go like this and just give myself a rough outline of where I want that to sit. Give a little bit of space there. Now the other thing to take note of is that in the box, the keypad is mounted in that packaging, which is like that. So what I'm going to do is a bit of Boxer Arts and Crafts and get this, fold these back and just go. So I've got a line around there now, and then I'm going to go like this. So I've got my texture again, and I'm going to sit this here so I can work out exactly where it's going to go. That's a bit nicer that way up, and from the top of my sheet there I can get it pretty much identical, even if I go from the edge of the circle, which is probably safer. Just a mil there, just a mil there, and then basically all I'm doing is holding that down as tight as I can, and I know exactly where that's got to go. So if I get my measuring gear out again, I mean, I don't know how perfectly square this piece of aluminium is, to be honest, but that's 48 to the side of the hole there, 48 to the side of the hole there, 50, 50, cool. And then I'll be really pedantic and find the center of the hole. Should be technically the center of these. So now I can take that out, and then I can also retrace, after I'm done with this, the corners for here. I've gone a little bit shorter with this one because this was just an offcut, but put a curved corner there and there to match that, because I know the Nexus is not going to be hanging off the edge of that, or put like a lesser curve or something like that. But either way, it's going to look really good. Bang, crash, everything. Yeah, it's missing a bit. So anyway, yesterday I was basically reversing out of a driveway, wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, looking one way, not both ways, and I completely caved in this guard here at the gate coming out of MV Automatics. Thankfully I didn't damage the gate, and thankfully the Land Cruiser is easier to fix than my other car, so ended up with a crease here and a massive big crease down through there. Managed to pop most of it out yesterday, and it's pretty good. There's a few little wobbles through here, but that's actually under the guard anyway, and I did pull this back in here originally just to give it a little bit more clearance for the 35s, but it's pretty damn good through here now. Basically just sort of got to get in here probably with some more rough stuff and take off the bits of Raptor which have got an edge on them, but then also maybe just the slightest skim of filler just through there, and then going to put it back on and try and match it with the Raptor can, and then sort of blow it into the door. The cut snake flare is cracked, but I'm going to try and resurrect that with a plastic welding kit. Been wanting to respray all the flares anyway, so it gives me an excuse to do this one and do all the rest of them to match, but pretty happy with that. Not being a panel beater, but just sat there and smacked it and got it as close as I possibly could, but now just heavy stuff to just get this last bit of paint off, so it's all bare metal around there, and then just skim a filler, clean it off, and then straight over the top with some Raptor. Now onto the drag car. This is a 4 project update basically. Got the turbo more sitting where it wants to be, just sort of pushed it over this way a little bit. I could go a bit more, but I think doing what we're doing, we're going to change the manifold a little bit anyway, so it's going to end up pretty much in the right spot. But I've been working on some other stuff today. Got the ECU front and center right there, keypad. I've only got 2 sitting in at the moment because it's dummied up, but rubber stoppers in there, so the ECU's got some dampening on it. This shifter's coming out, like I mentioned earlier, that's coming out and getting an M&M shifter in it, so I better move it and give it a bit more clearance for that anyway. I think the shifter's probably a bit shorter, but either way I can change that. All this wiring's got to come out because that's all going to get controlled by the PDM now, so it's a bit of a mess in here, but it's not a big problem. I'll get in there this week and do some more stuff on it, but yeah, pretty happy with that. And then just some quick updates on these ones. Basically this bike here took the new tail and the old fairings from the front into Nathaniel. They needed a heap of work because there was this horrible disgusting acrylic paint on there. And onto this bike here, Aaron has got all those fairings, all 3R Technic Aaron. He's got them all prepped up and ready to paint this week in black. So I got some epic progress going on, so I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks I'll have both of these painted. And I also have all the stickers for this one designed to send off to Crisp and Colour on demand. And also spoke to briefly Tommy Lynch in America, who was one of the guys that originally rode one of these back in the day. Awesome dude. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but if the opportunity arises, it'd be cool to see him ride this one. And then I've just got to get stuck into designing all the stickers for this one, just sort of basically reproducing them. I've used the website Fiverr a few times to just get some people to retrace and create new vector files, because it's quite time consuming, and they're pretty good at it and pretty cheap. So yeah, lots of progress. I'm filthy and disgusting at the moment, so I'm not going to put my face on here, but heaps of progress here. And also this will be going in very soon to get all the plumbing and all that sort of stuff done. So power of the world, and see you soon. And don't crash your car because it's a pain in the butt. I want to actually do upgrades on that, not repairs. Look where you're going. I'll pay that.